girls out for summer. Hey, we're here.
We are here. We have interrupted our vacation to share some marvelous books with you.
Got some great ones.
Give us just a minute while we get ourselves situated.
We need to get set up. See ya. Okay, here we are. We're set up and ready to go. We've got something to drink. We have our books. We're ready to tell you about our wonderful reading that we've done. I am Leah Godwin from Fitzgerald Elementary.
And I'm Nitza Campos from Pope Elementary.
Welcome to Pages for All Ages,
the summer edition.
And I will be starting with The House with Chicken Legs by Sophie Anderson. This is a middle grade novel, and this is a new take on the Baba Yaga story. Marinka, age 12, wants to have a real friend that will be around for more than one day. This is hard to do when your house has legs and can and will just up and move during the night. Also, the house chooses remote rocky areas away from towns. Marinka likes to play games with the house, but this is unfulfilling when she really wishes for a friend her own age. She also lives with her Baba, who is a Yaga, a guardian of the gate who leads the dead to the hereafter. Since the role of a Yaga is passed down from generation to generation, Marinka is of course in training to be a Yaga when her Baba goes into the afterlife. This is a story of grief, determination, defiance, with a strong sense of being true to oneself. I love that the house is actually a character. Marinka talks about knowing the house is blind and deaf spots so she can sneak up on it. Marinka is also concerned at times that the house will tell on her. The house also has what is described as facial expressions throughout the book. Fun read, get it for your library.
Oh, it's my turn.
It's your turn.
Sorry. Okay. So, I've been taking a break from children's books and I have read 3 adult books that are absolutely fantastic. I'm going to share 2 of them with you today, since there's still plenty of time for us to get in some summer reading while you're lounging at the pool, on a plane, or waiting for your kids to be done with practice. The first one is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I hope I'm saying that correctly. This is an adult psychological thriller. Theo is a psychotherapist and manages to get a job at the Grove, where a patient, Alicia Berenson, has been for the past 6 years. Alicia is an artist that was convicted of killing her husband, a famed fashion photographer, but hasn't spoken a word since the event, not even at her own trial. Now, Theo has been obsessed with the case of Alicia Berenson and convinces Alicia's therapist to let him work with her to see if he can get her to speak. He begins to analyze the last painting she did, which was a self-portrait titled Alcestes, I think that's how you say it, and begins to conduct his own investigation into the murder. Now, a couple of things happen. Alcestes is a princess in Greek mythology and is important to the story, and Theo got into psychotherapy because he is seriously messed up. This book has some great plot twists, and once you think you have it figured out, you don't. I couldn't put this down, and I was peeved when life interrupted my reading. Go out and grab it, like right now. Actually, wait until the show's done, and then go out and grab it.
My next book is Watchdog by Will McIntosh. This is another middle grade novel, and it is on the 2019-2020 Blue Bonnet list. In a futuristic, robot-filled Chicago, 13-year-old twins Will and Tara struggle to survive. They work daily, salvaging any metal and other found objects from the dumps to turn into ready cash so they can survive. Tara is on the autism spectrum and is a near genius working with robotics. She finds an extraordinary chip that is sentient and can build more sophisticated programs and parts for itself. Tara and Will have named their robot Daisy. When a mob boss, Ms. Alba, finds out about their unique find, She goes after the twins so she can get Daisy and add her to her collection of fierce robot dogs. Daisy is a fierce protector for Will and Tara. This book is quite an adventure, and it's definitely a page turner. I read it in one sitting. I particularly loved the action that will keep any reader turning those pages. I loved the characterization and the love and support Will and Tara had for each other. It is a must-read. Watchdog.
Ooh, I have it. I'm excited to read it. All right, so my next book is Sweeping Up the Heart by Kevin Henkes. It is a middle grade realistic fiction novel for students in grades 3 through 6. So it's spring break and Amelia is expecting another boring week, but things start to change when she strikes up a friendship with a boy, Casey, she met at the clay studio where she has been creating since she was little. Casey is staying with his aunt, who is the owner of the studio, while his parents work on their marriage and he has been sending clear messages to his parents on his thoughts of a divorce. Amelia is struggling to connect with her widowed father, who is distant since the death of her mother. Amelia and Casey start to open up to each other, and then one day, Casey sees a woman outside a coffee shop and has a strange feeling about her. He tells Amelia that he thinks this could be Amelia's mother. Kind of like a ghost, but not really, like alive. And so Amelia starts to notice her more and more and feels the woman might be following her. When she finally discovers who the woman actually is, Amelia is hopeful and slightly apprehensive about what is to come. Kevin Henkes has written a quiet and lovely book about grief, family, friendship, and growing up. Although it's a short novel, Mr. Henkes has created a deep and thoughtful characters. The title is from an Emily Dickinson poem, who Amelia just likes. Just such a great, well, you know me and Kevin Henkes.
Yes, you love all of his books.
I love all of his books. So.
I have Ghost Boys by Jewell Parker Rhodes. It is a middle grade novel. Jewell Parker Rhodes, if you recall, is also the author of Towers Falling and Sugar. This book is the story of Jerome, a black youth who is killed by a white police officer when the toy gun Jerome has is mistaken for a real weapon. The story is told using various perceptions of the incident. Jerome tells the story of being alive and then being dead, and he alternates these throughout the book. While he is a ghost, he thinks his grandmother can sense his presence. The young girl, who is the police officer's daughter, can actually see and converse with Jerome after his death. Jerome meets another ghost, Emmett Till, who lost his life in the 1950s. Jerome and Emmett tell Sarah, the policeman's daughter, their stories, and she becomes an activist so she can help create change. This book is timely, as you might agree, following reports much like this on the news. I read this book with a lump in my throat, and tears did sting my eyes a few times. Jewell Parker Rhodes does a wonderful job of telling truths that should be discussed. While this is a middle grade novel, I think this should be read by everyone. This is on the 2019-2020 Bluebonnet list, and I think it's also on the Lone Star list that's just for 6th through 8th grade. Very, very good book to start discussions for talking about mistakes and prejudice and different perceptions. It was a tough book.
I can imagine. It is going to be a good read and some good discussions about fake handguns and relationships and healing.
Yes.
So, you know.
So great book, Ghost Boys by Jewell Parker Rhodes.
So my next book is called An Anonymous Girl by Greer, Hendricks, and Sarah Pekkanen. It is an adult, another psychothriller. So here's the second adult book I was talking about. In this book, Jessica Fairs lives in Manhattan and is struggling to make ends meet with her career as a makeup artist. She overhears about an ethics and morality study being conducted by NYU psychiatrist Dr. Lydia Shields. Jessica becomes known as Subject 52, but then Dr. Shields offers Jessica a chance to make more money to participate in several scenarios that had been set up by Dr. Shields. Jessica begins to become slightly obsessed with Dr. Lydia Shields, But Jessica discovers Dr. Shields has done this before with Subject 5, who is now dead. This book is told from alternating perspectives. Jessica is telling the story, and then the creepy, ominous Dr. Shields speaks as if she's talking to Jessica. It is another fantastic read. This one had me reading late into the evening. It is a page-turning psychological thriller. Pick this one up too when you go to the Barnes & Noble to go pick up The Silent Patient or any other book recommendations that we are giving you here today. Now the third book, which I'm not doing today, I'm going to do that next month. It is also by this dynamic duo. I love this book so much that I had to get another book written by them. And the third book did not disappoint. And oh, I actually have it, I forgot. This is the one that we will be discussing next month. Great book. These two ladies know how to write a book.
This is Nocturna by Maya Motayne, a young adult fantasy. Yes, I am old enough to know better, but I wish someone had warned me not to start this book so close to bedtime because it is unputdownable and made me stay up way into the night. I was captivated by Maya Motayne's characters in the first book of the Forgery of Magic series. This is the story of Prince Alfir and his return home after his brother's untimely disappearance and almost certain death. Prince Alfie witnesses his brother Desi being swallowed by the floor as a result of some dark magic spell. Alfie is determined to find his brother. He encounters a young woman, Finian Voy, who is a face shifter, who has not had her own face in years and keeps a journal of all the faces she has used and the crime. She's also a thief, and when they are trying to win the same dark magic spellbook from an illegal card game is when they meet. Magic is all around and is used everywhere. Each person who is a magic user has a proprio or a magic that is unique to them. Alfie's magic is the ability to bind elements in the universe. When Alfie's cousin Luca is in danger of dying, Alfie releases a dark magic that has been bound by multiple elemental spells. Will Finn and Alfie be able to trap the dark magic before it destroys the entire city? Will evil win or will good prevail? What a wonderful, rich, Latin-inspired fantasy that will keep you reading far into the night. I was sad when this was over, and I look so forward to the next book in this trilogy. This is Maya's debut novel. She is very good at weaving a story and weaving magic. This is an arc that I read. The book did come out in May 2019, and the cover that you will see later is gorgeous. If you are a fan of Leigh Bardugo or V.E. Schwab, pick up this book.
And for those that don't remember what an ARC is, it means it's an advanced reader's copy.
And often the cover does not look like the...
Hasn't been released yet.
Yeah, the cover hasn't been released. Sometimes it is, sometimes not. So...
Right, I still have silly string all over the place. Sorry if I freaked you out with that.
We're still on summer vacation and we just can't keep from playing.
No, nor should we, nor should we. All right, so my next book is Small Things by the late Mel Tregonning and completed by Shaun Tan. It is a wordless graphic novel for students in grades 1 through 4. However, I do think this book can resonate with students in grades 5 and 6 also. So in this book, we meet a young boy who is battling anxiety. Let me just show you a couple of these beautiful pictures. He is the last to be picked for teams. He's not fitting in, and he's struggling with his schoolwork. Let me get to my next sticky. And so I have some little stickies here for you to see. His anxiety is shown as little black monsters or demons that are literally taking bites out of him. And let me get to my next sticky. I just want to show you these beautiful pictures. These little monsters are everywhere he goes. His sister shares with him her own struggles with anxiety, and he starts to realize that he is not alone. When he goes to school, he starts to see others who are also being eaten away by their own monsters and demons, and he reaches out to them. So I want to show you a couple more of, like even in bed at night, how that he is just haunted by them and his anxiety. Here is where his sister is sharing her own anxieties. Then, here's where he starts to realize that he's not alone. And then the last page is just spectacular when he reaches out to someone. I would love to show you every page in this book. It is haunting and beautiful and real for many people. Mel Tregonning did a beautiful job of illustrating anxiety. As we are now becoming more open about mental health and wellness, this book is important to share with kids who are struggling. Younger students will need some guidance with this book from parents, teachers, and/or counselors. It is a wonderful book to start a discussion with students who need help with dealing with all these feelings. This book is necessary in libraries. I can already think of a few students who might benefit from this book. It is a fantastic read. Beautiful, beautifully done too.
And I think sometimes anxiety and things like that are often ignored or just pushed off as they have a behavior problem. And sometimes they need to have a talk or let somebody know how they're feeling about things. So that sounds like a great book to have. I love a board book. I also love a board book that has acetate pages. This is Shapes by Jacques Duquennoy. This is a Zoe and Zach book currently on the 2019-2022 by 2 list, which is a list of 20 books chosen by Texas librarians that are for ages 2 to 2nd grade. In this book, Zoe and Zach show the different pictures they can draw using lines and shapes. Acetate pages transform the lines and shapes into teddy bears and robots and other things. Finally, they combine all of the shapes to make a fish. No, a bird. I thought it was a fish. It's a bird at the end. So, fun book for early learners. And if you notice as you flip through the pages, Zach is a chameleon and has different shapes on his body as he goes through the book. This is great to use in a preschool setting to teach shapes or to enjoy at home with a young reader. You can pair this with a variety of other shape books to continue learning about shapes or shape stories like Triangle, Square, or Circle by Mac Barnett. So, fun book, fun early book. Get it for your library or for a little friend that might be having a birthday or something.
Well, I also have a book on the 2x2 list. It is People Don't Bite People
Sometimes
by
they do.
Lisa Wheeler. You're going to learn.
Okay.
You might be someone who could benefit from this book.
Okay.
And the illustrations are by the Molly Idle. For those of us and our little ones that need to be gently reminded that we don't bite people, biting is for food. Lisa Wheeler teaches us and the little ones it's good to bite a carrot. It's good to bite a steak. It's bad to bite your sister. She's not a piece of cake. I just love that. She teaches us that dogs and horses may bite since they're animals, but people use their words. And so here's that. Here's the horse and the animal. This is a giggly great rhyming book with the amazing Molly Idle bringing the fun words to life in her ever so magical use of colored pencils. I love this illustration right here. Oh my goodness, let me find it. Of a mom being a lion tamer. It is a fun read aloud or to share with someone, adult or child, that must learn where teeth should go.
Well, the reason that I said some people do after you said people don't bite people is I actually shared the book with a kindergarten class, and one little boy said, some people do. And I think he was probably a victim of a biting incident. I'm not too sure, but could be. I have another 2x2 book. This is The Rabbit Listened by Cori Doerrfeld. It is on the Texas 2x2 list for 2019-2020. This is a story of Taylor and his building block project that is destroyed by crows as they swoop down, knocking down his tower creation. Several animals come. See, this is where they're knocked down, and the first animal came. But several animal friends come and suggest that perhaps he could talk about it or shout about it. Remember how it was built. Laugh about it, hide and pretend it didn't happen, throw it all away, or knock down someone else's creation. The rabbit shows up and quietly sits by Taylor until he is ready to talk. So Taylor decides it's time to talk, shout, remember, laugh. He makes plans to hide. He throws everything away. And he also made a plan to ruin it for someone else. And through it all, even though he didn't do all these things, the rabbit is quietly listening as Taylor makes a plan to go ahead and rebuild again. The characters are the pictures are soft sketches with cute-faced characters that are so endearing. You could use this story as a blueprint for perseverance or an example of being a good friend who just listens. And here's his plan to make his new tower. All the blocks are on the floor, but the plan is there. He's visualizing it, and such sweet butt. So get it for a friend, get it for your classroom, put it in your library. A great 2x2 choice.
My next book is Escargot by Dashka Slater. It is illustrated by Sydney Hanson. This book is appropriate for pre-K through second grade. Let us meet Escargot, the French snail who is dressed très magnifique in his black beret, his red neckerchief, and striped shirt. So there he is. Look at that face. I just love him. Hold on, I gotta show you my next picture. There he is, there he is, there he is. Look how beautiful he is. Is he wearing haute couture? Maybe. Is he adorable? Absolutely. Escargot is trying to get to the salad that has a light vinaigrette, and this salad is at the end of the book, and he would like for you to join him. You soon learn that Escargot is a little sad since nobody ever says that snails are their favorite animal. And then he begins to share things about himself to help change all of that. He is fierce, he is fast, and he does not leave behind slime. Au contraire, he leaves behind shimmery trails of shimmery stuff. He races the reader to the end of the book and declares the reader as his favorite animal. Here he is. I just love it. There it is. Escargot has won this reader's heart. It's just an adorable and fun book. I just love it. I just go out and get this, girl. Or here, I'm going to just take it and read it. Because it's so cute that I had to go and buy a snail immediately so I could have this in my collection of cute stuffed animals in the library. Precious.
Little French guy.
Yes.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Oh.
It's you!
Oh, sorry. Still on vacation time. All right. My next book is Peter and Ernesto, A Tale of Sloths by Gran, I think it's Annable or Annable? I don't know how to pronounce that. I apologize deeply. It is a graphic novel for students in grades 1 through 6, and it is on the Little Maverick reading list. The Little Maverick reading list is a list recommended of graphic novels for students in grades K through 5. There is another reading list called the Texas Maverick reading list, which is a list of recommended graphic novels for students in grades 6 through 12. So I am a little obsessed with sloths. They're one of my favorite animals of all time.
I send you videos
Yes,
all the time.
you do, because I love watching YouTube videos of sloths eating hibiscus flowers. So when I saw this book, I just had to have it. So in this book, Peter is cautious, worrisome, and loves to make up songs. He's the gray one. And then Ernesto is a free spirit. He's the tan one. They have their own distinct personalities. In this graphic novel, Peter and Ernesto enjoy watching the clouds and saying what they look like. And here they are, just looking up at the clouds and saying it's a bear or whatever. It's called cloud picturing. You learn later on in the book. So Peter proceeds to sing a song about them staying in their tree till they're 103 and nothing ever changes for you and me, and I'm going to spare you all from my singing. You gonna sing it? Yeah, you don't want to hear me sing, y'all.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's good. You just don't want to hear me sing. This song makes Ernesto realize that he does want to see all of the sky and decides to make a trip. Peter is extremely worried, but Ernesto must do what he must do and challenge himself. So on his adventure, he crosses a shaky bridge, he meets a whale who takes him across the ocean, he rides a camel and learns about the constellations, and then he goes to the Arctic to see the northern lights. I have a quick little, it's such a beautiful picture, to see the northern lights. And all the while, Peter is back in his tree, beside himself with worry, and finally decides to go after Ernesto. Other animals do assist him along the way, and they are encouraging. And then at the end, they are finally reunited. Is that not just cute of them hugging each other? I just love it. There is a book too. It is called, I had to go buy it because, you know, my obsession runs deep. It's called Peter and Ernesto, the Lost Sloths. I sure hope this series is going to continue because it is precious. I can't get enough of Peter and Ernesto. And here's my little, yes, my sloth. But yes, I'm telling you, I am obsessed with sloths. And I'm not going to talk deeply about this book, but I just want to give it a really quick shout out. This graphic novel, it's called Share Your Smile by Raina Tegelmeier. It is a guide to creating your own graphic novel. So if you know a kid who loves to draw, put this in their hands. I have a student at Pope who's a wonderful artist, and I went out and bought this book for her because I knew she would appreciate it. But it just kind of guides them, like how she does her graphic novels, how to process their thoughts, how to give them ideas. This is like a working workbook. It shows them how to show different feelings. But they get to write in this book. You will see pages like that. So it is like a working workbook on how to create your own graphic novel. So it's great. I loved it.
Looks great.
Well, I don't know about you, but I need to head back to the pool.
Yeah, I think it's time to go and have some fun.
It is definitely time. Now this was fun.
This was fun. And we had some great books.
We had some wonderful
And we learned
books.
more and more about your sloth obsession, and
Yeah, it's
we
ridiculous.
got to meet little Escargot. Oh.
Isn't he cute?
Yes,
I mean, he
he's
is
so
precious.
cute.
I just love him. Well, anyways, we will see you the next time on Pages for All Ages, and we hope you have the rest of your summer is safe and wonderful.
See you later.